and welcome back to another video. So it is bank holiday, it's August bank holiday, and we have decided to come to Cornwall today. It's the Saturday of the bank holiday. It's been pretty insane actually about what birds have been turning up across Devon and Cornwall in the last day or so. So we have decided to base ourselves around Senn and Land's End and walk the coastal path to see what birds we can see. I hope it's a good day. It's meant to be really sunny today. So got supplies and got this beautiful view. You know your day is going to be off to a good start when one of the first birds you see is a chough. Their call is unmistakable. It does actually remind me of a chew toy. We parked the car at Senn Cove and walked to Land's End. The walk is around 2.5 miles long. We had a good range of species like this adorable chiffchaff and sparrow. There are high numbers of blue tits, stonechats, whitethroats, linnets and swallows. I took some quiet time and sat down to watch the birds flitter around me and managed to get some snaps. We were hoping for a wryneck on the path, but the dream must be in the future. Okay, so we are now at Drift Reservoir. Drift is an awesome place. There has been some special species over the years here. It was so lovely and peaceful to have the hide at Drift to ourselves for a few hours. At one point a kingfisher landed on a rock right in front of the hide. We couldn't believe our eyes. We noticed that this kingfisher was ringed, which is really cool. If ringing interests you, you should definitely check out our last video, where we saw various gulls that were ringed and got to find out about their journey. Drift has had some awesome species over the years, such as Dalmatian pelican, which would be amazing to see. eBird has recorded 205 species at Drift. We were lucky to see a least sandpiper here in 2022. We saw these two very special angels when we arrived at Drift. These dunlin came right up to us and didn't appear to be concerned about us at all. We assumed they are juveniles who are new to the UK, and we are some of the first humans that they have encountered. There were a range of gulls bathing in the reservoir, and they were certainly feeling the heat like us. It was around 25 degrees and very sunny. We do have some heat haze in some of the photos and videos that we took. Waders are my favourite birds by far, and it was lovely to observe such a range. We saw greenshanks, common sandpipers, wood sandpipers, green sandpipers and a ring plover. The waders were feeding right in front of the hide for long periods of time and did get spooked by the birds of prey flying around. It was lovely to get views of this greenshank coming close to us. The most regular wader that kept us company at the hide was this little common sandpiper. They would also often group up and feed together. There are so many birds of prey around, so perhaps they thought they'd have safety in numbers. This did help them out later on. Here is the wood sandpiper on its own. It looks a bit similar to a greenshank, but it has a speckled brown back. At some point I was taking a video on my phone to show you guys the view from the hide, when all of a sudden a sparrowhawk came down in front of us and the waders went into the air. We also saw a beautiful juvenile marsh harrier. During our time in the hide I was really distracted by a bird of prey constantly calling. We went for a bit of an investigation and saw this juvenile buzzard sitting on some rocks in the field behind Drift. I think it may have been calling its parents for food. Next on the agenda was Geaver Mine. We identified through bird guides that wrynecks tend to visit between Geaver Mine and Pendine. A wryneck was spotted at Geaver the morning before, so we thought we'd have a bit of an investigation. Sadly we didn't see a wryneck, but we had a brilliant time. After walking around, Matt spotted a pool of water, and we thought because it was hot we could camp close to the pool and birds may come down and drink. There were huge flocks of linnets and there were some sparrows in the flock too. They came down to the pool a few times to drink and bathe in the mud. Groups of swallows were diving down to the pool to drink, and it was so cool to watch. They were splashing into the water at high speed to drink and flying so close to us. It was impossible but fun to try and get photos of them. There were a range of butterflies at Giva too, the highlight being a distant cloudy yellow, which we sadly didn't get a photo of, and this common blue. Then, a magical and unforgettable moment happened. So we're just sat by a pool of water. I'll show you what it looks like. And so we're just sat by the edge of it, hoping that birds will come down to drink from the pool. And from the other side of the pool, Matt noticed a weasel. So we're watching it for ages. And then about 10 minutes later, I looked around to talk to Matt, and it was just making a beeline for him. Probably the cutest I've ever seen. And it went and sat underneath his arm, and it went right up to him. It really took a liking to Matt. It was so cute. A group of pipits flew over us at one point and drank from the other side of the pool. They weren't there for long and flew off. One of the pipits actually stayed and sat next to us for about 30 minutes, preening and drying itself. It didn't seem to care about us at all. Matt also had a look at the sea and saw some passage. We saw some gannets and some Manx shearwaters. We did see a juvenile gannet chasing some of the Manx shearwaters. Good morning. So today it is day 2 of the bank holiday weekend and we are back in Cornwall. So our first stop of the day is Davidstow Airfield. We've been here a couple of times actually, and it is an awesome place to go because basically you birdwatch from the car. So I'm obviously driving and Matt is in the seat behind me, so we're both on the same side, and you just drive around and see what birds. So we've been here for about 20-ish minutes and we've already seen really close to the car a sparrowhawk, a wheatear and a golden plover. A golden plover was literally next to us calling. It was incredible. But yeah, birds stop here in passage. You always get waders. We've seen lesser blackback gull as well, but the potential here is big. Davidstow Airfield often has a good selection of waders. I wasn't really sure why it did, so I had a little bit of a research. Bird and Places EU says that it's a known site for near Arctic waders, and they like it because they have large spaces of open grassland with water nearby. Over the years at Davidstow, a range of waders have been observed, such as a buff-breasted sandpiper, which we saw here back in 2023. There was also a pectoral sandpiper present at the time, but we didn't see it. I really enjoyed this type of bird watching, and it was great to get close to the species using the car as a hide. We watched a sparrowhawk just 10 minutes into arriving at Davidstow, and the wheatears were hiding when it was close, the poor things. As you can see in this video, the wheatears actually ducked down as the sparrowhawk got close. We heard a wader in the distance getting closer and closer, and we immediately knew it was golden plover. Then it landed right next to the car, walking around and feeding. It was so cute and special to see this bird so close up. It's not often that you see a single golden plover on the ground like this. The usual views we have of them are in large groups high in the sky over Dartmoor in the winter. It felt like quite an intimate moment. Next we visited Hayle Estuary. It was approaching low tide, so we were hoping to get some wader action, and little did we know what was going to happen next. We also saw a black-tailed godwit, and as Matt was sitting on a rock near the edge of the mud, the godwit came right up to him, feeding around him. I was observing from quite a distance and it really did approach Matt. I'm starting to think that the wildlife had a bit of a thing for Matt this weekend. We also saw a bar-tailed godwit and managed to snap a pic. I do think that the waders are quite approachable and you can get close to them if you have patience and wait for them. We have also found that if you sit or lie down near the waders, they do tend to approach you. It's also important to move slow, be super quiet and do not have any sudden movements. I have so much to update you guys on. So we were at Hayle Estuary and we found a flock of like 400-500 ring plover. There were a few Dunlin and Sandlin in there too. And we found a spot fairly far away from them actually. And we just sat on the sandy mud. I'm filthy. I actually need to go and buy an outfit because I am so muddy and sandy and wet from sitting in the mud for so long. Anyway, I was sat there really close to the ground and the plovers started going around us. Plovers are my favourite bird. I was crying because they were surrounding us. They got so close to us. It was adorable. They were coming within feet of us and I was lying down in the mud and they were just walking up to us. It was the best experience of my life. I couldn't help but cry. Oh, I really hope that I've got some good footage for you guys so you could see how close they were, but I don't think I could pay for that experience, honestly. I was just getting tearful, like, thinking about it. It was amazing. There were hundreds of them, and they were just so close to us. What precious, precious little angels they are. Yeah, so now we're off to the shop to go and get a change of outfit, because we are filthy. But, oh, what an end to a bank holiday. I'm just in awe of those beautiful, beautiful birds right now. For anyone who knows me will know that I adore plovers. They are my favourite species of bird and birdwatching friends and non-birdwatching friends are aware of my love for them. I was talking to another birder who said he observed a very large number of small waders at one side of the estuary. We went for a bit of a walk and they were sitting right in the middle of the estuary with quite severe heat haze between us. We sat on the edge of the estuary having a break as it was getting very hot and started to scan the waders. We observed ring plover, dunlin and sandlin. As we were sitting chilling, we noticed a cheeky ring plover in front of us start to come closer. That one plover opened the floodgates and so many started to surround us and come in arm's length to us without a care in the world. We sat super still and didn't move while we gazed at them, and it was a breathtaking experience. There was one juvenile ring plover that got so close to Matt and kept returning. Do you see what I mean about wildlife loving Matt this weekend? It was so hard to leave the big whaler pack behind, but it was time to move on to our final destination. The final destination for our wonderful weekend was Chapel Combray. This is located in the Penwith Hills. Wrynecks have been spotted here this month, and also there was a black kite in the area. So we thought we would go up there for sunset. At the top of the hill we met an inspirational man called Chris, who is known as the Pink Hat Man on YouTube. Chris walked from Land's End to John O'Groats and back to raise money for a charity called Hope and Homes for Children. Chris is 71 years old and he has done the walk since April, and we had the pleasure of meeting Chris on his final night at Chapel Combray, just before his trip ended. I will link Chris's Just Given page on YouTube below. What a brilliant man and a lovely way to end the perfect weekend.